Hey guys, welcome to another video here with Anna.
Hi guys!
Today, I don't know if you want to just say already. I give you the floor.
Thank you so much. So guys, now you get to hear my experiences in Hungary as an international student, how I got the scholarship and the internship, and after that my full-time job as well, the issues that I had to face, the language barriers and the difficulties of getting the documents done because of all the bureaucratic issues, the healthcare system, and many more stories of how to meet new people, how to socialize, and just accept the new cultures.
Yeah, and you're gonna hear a lot of one-on-one lessons from Anna.
Personally for you.
Alright, let's hear her out. Hello Anna.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for coming over. I heard great things about you, your story, and now you just want to share, with the audience.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Anna. I come from the small country Georgia, which is located in the middle of Asia and Europe. It's surrounded by Russia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Armenia, and our culture is amazing. We have amazing food, wine. We're also very famous for our nature, and whoever goes there always comes back.
I heard a lot about it, and we also have Georgian restaurants here.
Yes, I've visited a few of them. It's really nice, not as authentic as that would be in our country, of course, but it's worth to try, and I would recommend everyone to visit once because it's really unique and it's not like any other culture.
But are they that authentic as, in your country?
Not 100%, but a few times a year when I really miss my country, I always go and try some things just because I miss it, so it always feels like I'm back home.
Do you know Hachapuri, the restaurant?
Of course. That's like the name of the restaurant itself is the name of our main traditional dish, Hachapuri, which is like the cheese boat with an egg on top, which is the most famous and the most delicious thing ever.
Fair enough. Then, how did you choose Budapest?
To be honest, I hadn't heard a lot of things about Budapest before coming here. So a few years ago, I came to visit my sister who was also living here on my birthday to celebrate, and I met her friend. We went on a small hike and I just discovered this place and I just instantly fell in love with it, and that's when I decided to apply to the university here. So I applied to the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship program, which covers all the cost of the studies for us, and right after that next year I would bought the tickets and came here.
Wow, that sounds like a very quick decision.
Yes, and I didn't even think twice about it because I don't regret anything that I've done so far because all these years just gave me the best experiences so far.
How about this scholarship? Was that enough to cover your other expenses as well, or just tuition fee?
Not really, to be honest. That's why for the first year when I was just starting my studies, I was not able to start working, obviously, because I was not able to find any job on that early stage. So I was getting some help from my parents as well, because scholarship is really minimum, to be honest. But now that I'm graduating, I already managed to find an internship, and finishing my internship, I'm gonna also start a full-time job, which is gonna obviously help me to pay off my accommodation and just have fun with my friends.
Was it easy to apply for the scholarship?
This scholarship program is open every year, and hundreds of applicants apply every year from a lot of different countries. For example, I remember when I was applying to Hungary, during that time only in Georgia there were around 900 applicants and only 50 got the scholarship. So it's a big competition, but you have to be prepared for it. They ask for your school record and your CV, resume, some recommendation letters, and you just have to be really just willing to show them that you want to go and learn new things and then just go back and use it to change your country. And after that you receive the scholarship, and only after that you get the interview with the university itself. And there are some entrance exams depending on which faculty you're applying to. For example, for me, studying at Budapest Business School for the Faculty of Finance and Accountancy, and as an entrance exam I had to write math and English, but it's really basic and I think that anyone could really do it.
You mean like multiplication and addition?
Oh, well, it's like really high school
High school
level
okay.
of knowledge, yeah.
Do you think like most of the people who apply for this scholarship will get it? Or you really have to put some effort in it?
Of course, you have to put effort in whatever you're doing, but if you set the goal for that and it just really takes the willingness to do it, then I think that you will for sure get a scholarship.
Is there any fees you have to apply for it?
Oh no, it's completely free, but also the main thing is just a knowledge of English, because of course all the interviews are in English and the whole program itself is in English, so that's the main thing. Also, you need to have an English certificate, TOEFL, IELTS, anything that you can do.
Then you got admitted to the school. You spent there 3 years?
Yeah,
right?
It's my third year, and the program itself is 3.5 years for me.
Wait, you still haven't finished school, but you already found a job?
Yes. So the program itself is 3.5 years, but during this time, 3 years is the classes, and the last semester is dedicated to my thesis work and my internship. But I managed to find the internship at the beginning of the third year, so by the time I finish my classes, I also finish with this. And next semester I'm just left with thesis. I don't have to go to university, so most of my time is freed up. So I decided that I want to progress more in the field in my career. That's why I started to apply to the new positions, and I got it.
Wow. Was it easy to apply for jobs? Because you don't speak Hungarian, right?
I don't, but it depends where you're applying. I know that some of my friends were trying to find some certain jobs at the beginning of the first and second year as well, not with our specialization, because our knowledge is not that good during the first year, of course, so they applied to different positions at some shopping malls and etc., but they were rejected because of the language. But in the big corporations, they don't usually need the knowledge of Hungarian, and English is mostly enough. But of course, it's really good if you know Hungarian, but it won't be the decision making. Yeah, and they're usually really open for students and for international people. Usually they have these open days at the university as well, job fairs where you can go, and there are a lot of companies presented. You can have the conversation with them. Every school organizes its own job fair, and they send out the email, so you're always informed, and you just show up there, and the rest is up to you. But also you can go to the job fairs of other universities. That's how I find my own job, because I went to BMU, which is one of the biggest universities in Hungary, because they also present the jobs that are good for me.
Is the salary good enough to live here in Hungary?
I think yes. The tax for internship is 15% for students, because we're not allowed to work more than 24 hours per week, so you cannot really find full-time job as a student, but you need to make the working visa permit if you want to work for 40 hours.
Is that difficult to make that visa?
I'm not really familiar with the procedures, because I'm always starting to do it right now myself, but as I know, it takes 70 days for immigration office to approve it or deny. But if you have all the documents in line, then it's not going to be a problem for you.
Okay, but is it the thing that you have to do, or the company is going to help you do that?
Not really. There's nothing you can do about it, because I also had the same question. I called in the embassy of my country in Hungary, and they just redirected me. They told me that they can't help me with this, because basically your employer company has to deal with it, to call in the immigration office, and then everything else just happens between the company and the immigration office. Of course, they let you know with all the documents that you have to prepare for it, and then it's just 2 months, and after that you get the visa. To be honest, bureaucracy in Hungary is something that I really don't like. From the first year when I arrived, I remember going to the immigration office for my residence permit and for the different documents that I had to do, and it is just so chaotic. You just go in there. Sometimes I had to stand in the line for like 6 hours, even like going the earliest like 8 a.m. and there's a huge line of people. And also in that kind of offices, it's also really hard to find someone who speaks English. But my university helped me with that. We were assigned with mentors who would take the group of people together to the immigration office and we would all do it together. But that's something that I would like to see change in this country, because I'm pretty sure not only me but most of the students have to deal with it every year, which is pain in the ass.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for others on this? Not wait 6 hours.
There's nothing you can do about that. You'll have to wait 6 hours, so prepare for that as well mentally. First of all, when you first come to the new country, you're just having all these cultural shocks because it's a new culture. Most of all, for me, the most challenging part was the language barrier, because Hungarian is one of the most difficult languages that I've came across so far. And even for this past few years, I'm really embarrassed to say, but I know only few basic things in Hungarian, and I haven't even tried to learn because it seems so hard. But mostly young generation people, they speak English and they're really open to communicate. So I remember the first time when I came to the country, it was the first day. I just left my luggage at the apartment and I just rushed out to the city. And I didn't have the card for my phone, so I didn't have internet, and I just went strolling through the streets. And I got lost 2 times for the first day. But then just asking people, it's really easy and they give you the directions, so they're really open in that aspect. But more older generation, they don't speak English. So I remember like entering some supermarkets and I would see that their attitude would change towards me when I would answer in English, because
so they behave differently when
yeah, I think so, because they expect you that if you're in their country that you're supposed to know their language, and it kind of seems disrespectful, but I think that's how they're trying to protect their country in a certain way. So I don't really blame them, but also it feels kind of different.
Not belonging, right? Like you feel a bit like you're outsider.
Yes, but also I'm not in touch with older generation that often, so it's not a big of a difference, because most of the time I hang out with my friends. There are mostly international, also some Hungarian people as well, and I don't feel left out at all.
What words do you know? You said you know a couple of Hungarian
Oh, that's
words.
gonna be embarrassing. Let's not do this. I know.
Just one.
Oh my god. I only know like Sia and Köszönöm.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something already. Do you know what's the longest Hungarian word?
I don't know, but my favorite Hungarian word is következő megálló, which we hear a lot on the public transport, which basically means like the next stop, I think.
Yeah, the next station.
Yeah.
The longest word in Hungarian is megszentségteleníthetetlenségeskedéseitekért.
I'm not even gonna try.
No? You gonna go maybe?
Can you say it again?
Megszentségteleníthetetlenségeskedéseitekért.
Megszentségteleníthetetlenségeskedéseitekért.
That's
impossible.
Let's break it down. Megszentségteleníthetetlenség.
Hetetlenség.
Kedéseitekért.
Keseitekért.
It's even more
And what does it
difficult.
mean?
That's a very good question. So,
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for me to. I'll just put it in the video.
Okay.
So what other hardships did you have when you came here?
So from the beginning, it was really hard for me because I miss my home, my parents, my family. This was the first time to be this long away from them, and it was really hard not to see them for a long time. And I would only travel during holidays because of the university. I was not able to travel a lot. So that was really hard, and it still is, but as soon as I get the opportunity, I always try to go home and spend some time with them. And now, especially during COVID times, it's really hard. There are a lot of restrictions, and hopefully soon my parents will be also able to come and visit me in Hungary.
But in Georgia, you were living with your parents, and you lived all together with a happy family.
Yes, my parents, and I have 2 sisters.
But like, how difficult was this change?
It was really good for me because I learned how to live independently. You're right, when I was back to Georgia, my mom would cook for us and do everything, so I didn't have to do it. But now I faced this challenge, and I think that it was really good experience for me in a sense that now I love to cook, and every other week I try new recipes from the different countries, and I'm just obsessed with that, so it's really nice.
I really liked how you put it, like it's not a problem for you, but more like an opportunity to grow and learn.
Yeah, of course, for everybody can do that. Because this is, to be honest, basic survival skills that everybody needs to have.
How did you grow your network so fast? Like you started out with your sister and she was here. That's one person.
Yes.
And how did you get the second, the third, the fourth?
Well, you start to get friends everywhere. Your workplace, your university, of course. And just even if you go to the park, my favorite place is Margaret Island here, because you can go there and people are sitting in the big groups having picnics or playing some games, and you can literally just go and sit there and join them, and you're suddenly friends. You find something in common, and then you just develop from there. It's really easy. You just have to have this courage to do it, because there's nothing that could go wrong.
So that's how to make friends 101 with Anna. Did you had encountered any situations when they were a little bit hostile to your approach?
At the university, I'm going to say as an example, most of my class is just international people, 90% I would say, and the rest of it is Hungarian people. And they have this small community together. They stick together, they only speak in Hungarian, so it's really hard to approach them. I'm pretty sure that if you go and talk to them, they're going to be nice to you, but they don't seem that approachable that, for example, someone else from the other country would be. I'm not saying that it's the whole country. Of course, I have few really nice Hungarian friends that I love a lot, but I noticed this. I think it's probably in every country wherever you go, because they feel more comfortable in their own group. Maybe it's also for some language barrier as well, and they're more insecure.
Do you think it's any different Hungarian friend rather than international friend?
Not really. As long as you get along with someone, you have the same values and you're having fun and all the conversations that you enjoy with them, you should not differentiate anyone by where they come from or what race they are, their sexuality, anything.
Have you seen any culture differences with Georgia?
Weird? A lot. I wouldn't say like weird differences, but it's totally different. Yeah, because Georgia is also like really traditional, I would say, really close-minded, and they're afraid of anything new, to be honest, because we're a post-Soviet country.
Wait, can I stop you there for a sec? You don't seem to be a very close-minded. So what happened there?
No, well, my bubble with whom I grew up and my friends are really open-minded, just as me, and I was always trying to get out of that norms and that frames that the country and this community puts you in, and I always went against that, and my mom probably hated me for that, because I was always the rebellious teenage girl. But I turned out great, and I'm doing great in my life, so
for sure.
They should be proud of me.
I bet she is.
For example, in Georgia, people live with their parents and they only move out after marriage, which I do not accept. I don't think it's okay, because they live off their parents' food and their roof and everything. And I really like the tendency here that students move out from their parents' apartment and they try to find a job and live more independently. Of course, the couples move out, but mostly like the girls, they always live with their parents, and then they either move in with husband's parents, which is kind of, I don't like that, to be honest, because there's like no sense of privacy and just too much.
Right, if you have a separate room, isn't that a privacy, no?
Of course no. You have your own life and...
Right. Your first decisions when you moved out was how to find an apartment here in Budapest, or which university to attend, or These kind of basic questions, right?
Yeah,
Did it help you in that, or?
Yeah, accommodation is really crucial part, of course, when
Mm.
you're moving to the new country, and it's always good to find that in advance because once you come, you can already settle and then move on with your life. But also, it's a really great option that universities offer is student dormitories, where I also spent my first semester of my uni as well, and you stay there with some international people, so that might be a good option for you as well if it's hard for you to find new friends, because in that case you are already living with new people, and it's a first big step, I think.
Is that difficult to find accommodation, and how expensive was the student dormitory? Like, is the prices compared to other?
Yeah. So
accommodations?
student dormitory was also included in my scholarship program, so I didn't have to pay for it. And for accommodations, I moved out right after that. So
Like half year after half year.
yes, so it's I wouldn't say it's really hard. You just have to start searching like maybe a few months back, because if you want to find a good place in a good location. Yeah, because there are a lot of Facebook groups that you can join. They post a lot of different options, and you just can contact them. And maybe if you're not in Hungary yet, you can have a video tour to the apartment, or send some of your friends to check it out. And in most of the apartments, they ask for 2 months deposits that you should also take into consideration, and 1 month's rent as well.
When you move in.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any bad experiences with housing in Budapest?
Not so far, to be honest. I'm really glad with the places that I've lived so far.
Any advice you would give on finding apartments for people?
My advice is to just search a lot of different options. Don't just settle for the first one that you find, and make sure that you check the apartment that before moving in, because I've heard a lot of cases in the Facebook groups where people say that they've been scammed, or they got the deposit and never heard back from them. So always check that the source that is posting the apartment is real, and you're gonna get the apartment that they promised you.
There are a lot of stories, like, about this scamming, like how they can scam you. Like, for example, not even the landlord one, like you're talking to a person and it turns out that it's not even the landlord, but it's just an ex-tenant.
Yeah.
And you send the deposit and he's gone.
Yeah.
It was like...
Yeah, you gotta be really careful with that, of course, because...
What's your worst and best, like worst and best experience here in Budapest?
Like the place, Balaton is one of my favorites. Experience, I would say just all the memories that I've made so far is really amazing.
It's more like the network and the friendship and
yes,
the people you met.
because that just makes up most of your life, and that's what makes you happy. But of course it depends. If you are not so social person and you enjoy spending time by yourself, there are still a lot of things that you could do. Also, I really like the thermal baths in Hungary. They're very popular, and I would recommend to go to the smaller ones because they're less touristic and less crowded, but it's still an amazing experience. There are a lot of concerts and events in Hungary. I've been to Sting's live in Budapest, and Will Smith was here last year as well. And both of the concerts were free, and they were just open air, which was really nice. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to the Balaton Festival, which is one of my dreams. I really wanted to go this year, but unfortunately, because of COVID, it was cancelled. But hopefully next year. It's just Hungary is so beautiful. It's not only Budapest as well. I've visited a few different small cities as well. I remember like first year of the university, after classes, I would just take the train with my friends and we would just go to random places. And we would just walk around, discover the city and learn a bit about it. But for sure, my favorite place, apart from Budapest in Hungary, would be Balaton Lake, which is so amazing and beautiful. And I heard that it gets really crowded during summer because most of the people go there. There's no sea in Hungary, so this lake is the beach for Hungarians, and not only during the season of all the live concerts and events. A lot of people from all over Europe come here because it's one of the biggest, I think it's the biggest music festival in Europe.
And there are 3 festivals, if you know, like we have Sziget,
Sziget, Balaton, Sound, and other one close to Budapest.
Volt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at in the north.
Mm-hmm. The worst experience, probably just being away for so long. And
from your family and friends.
And just the COVID time in general, because it made it really hard to just enjoy the little things, and everybody just was stuck at home, and there are not a lot of things that you can do, but I still found some entertainment for myself, of course, but that would be the worst part of me in Hungary.
But you came over that, and then now, everything's coming back to normal.
Yeah, I'm really happy for that. Everything is going back to normal, and the sun is out, the summer is almost here, the borders are opening up. Hungary is located right in the center of Europe, which gives you the opportunity to go and visit other places as well, and the tickets are really cheap and affordable for students. So I would suggest if you come to Hungary, you should go and see other countries as well.
As a foreigner, was it easy to get the vaccine?
Yes, it's the same procedure as for Hungarians. It's just there were some technical issues at the beginning, but now anyone can register for it online, even if you have Thai card, which is the insurance card or not. You just go into the dedicated place where you get vaccinated, and I think you can just wait for like 30 minutes max, because there are some people on the line, but after that it's not a problem. But I heard that getting the immunity card is really hard because, again, of these technical issues, and it takes a longer period than it should take, so you should also take care of that yourself, because people have to go into the office to request it again themselves, so it's again bureaucracy.
Technically they should send it out like within 2 weeks.
That's what I heard as well, but some of my friends got the vaccine like 2 months ago, they still haven't heard.
2 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like as soon as they got the vaccines in Hungary, they registered, they went to get them, but still haven't received any of the immunity cards. But the good thing is that if you have the immunity card, you can also go into the restaurants, into the museums, so it's a really good advantage.
Get vaccinated, people.
Yeah.
How about the if you have any other problems, you break your leg, or can you just go to the hospital?
Another big issue. I don't know. It's for me personally, or for others as well. But speaking from my personal experience, healthcare system is really bad, even compared to Georgia, because the hospitals that I've been to are, first of all, the buildings are really old. No one takes care of them. Also, really hard to find someone who speaks English. In Georgia, if you feel sick, even if you have a fever, you call into the emergency and they come for you, and the doctor comes, checks on you. And I'm not saying that the Hungary should do that as well, and I'm disappointed or something. It's just that I was surprised because I was not used to that. So I remember the first year of my uni, I was really sick. I called into the emergency and no one came. I had to go into the hospital myself. I ordered a taxi. I went into the hospital. It was at night.
Wow.
And there was no doctor at all, even though I called in the hospital before going in, and I went in there. But probably it was not a very good hospital as well, but it was the closest one to where I lived, so I just needed to go to the doctor, and I just rushed to the first one that I could go to. There was no one who spoke English, there was no doctor at all, there was just a security guard, so I had to go back. And the doctor only arrived at 11 a.m. next morning from when I called to the emergency. And it was just surprising to me because I was not used to that in Georgia, but you get used to that as well. You just have to really take care of that.
What number did you call?
I don't remember the number, but I have this immunity card that the university provides, and we have our own number in the hospital that is dedicated to that. For making the appointments with the doctors, you call to the doctor that your insurance offers.
Okay, so you called that number, the emergency number, and no one came up?
Yeah, only the next morning. When they showed up, I didn't even expect that they would come, so they didn't even call to check if I still needed the doctor or not, so it's just really chaotic again.
Generally, people have their own doctors in each district.
Yeah.
And then people would go there if it's not an emergency. If it's an emergency, then there are dedicated hospitals there as well.
Yeah. Another issue in Hungary that I faced is with postal offices.
Post offices?
Yeah.
What's the problem then?
They just, all of my orders get lost, or they send them back because they don't notify me that they have arrived, and just it already happened a few times. And also again, every time I went in, I couldn't receive any answer because no one spoke English.
If you could go back in time, would you change your decision?
Not at
to-
all. That was one of the best
anything?
decisions come to Hungary. This have been one of the best life experiences so far, the best 3 years, for the growth, for the personal growth that I've been through, for also career development as well. And I met a lot of new people and I traveled a lot. I'd never go back, of course, because even now after graduating, I'm planning to stay in Hungary for a few more years and to continue my life here because I found my own home in Hungary.
Wow, I'm really glad to hear that.
Yes.
Nice. So thank you, Anna. That was
Thank
really
you
nice
so
talk.
much. Thank you for having
Wow.
me.
So that was our interview for today. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, it was really nice, and I'm really glad to share my experiences with you. And hopefully, after this, I would make your lives a little bit easier coming to Hungary. So subscribe to him.
Subscribe and give her likes because she helped you a lot.
Because I deserve it.
Because you deserve it. All right. Any last words to the audience?
Sziasztok!